Situationship versus relationship. How to increase the level of commitment. Grab your stick, grab your drink. Let's get into this thing right now.
Hot beat, smoke it, drink it down. With your voice, it got Jeff around. Feel the vibe, we're set to roll. Press play, let's lose control. Sip a drink and smoke will swirl. Join the convo around the world. Relationships we dissect slow. Current events, we let them flow.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy JB coming right back at you, and you know what it is. It's Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the real cigar Jeff, man. Y'all do me a favor. Get down in the description, man. Get the merch, support the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on the socials. Y'all know the routine by now, man. Getting into situationships versus relationships and how to increase the level of commitment. And y'all know whenever I get into the relationship thing, I got to bring in my resident expert on all things relationship. I'm gonna let her introduce herself and tell y'all if she's sipping on anything at all tonight, since it's a little bit later than normal.
Listen, I'm sipping on my water. Yes, I'm gonna be a little hood. Got my little koozie for my water tonight since it just got off. We'll drink something on the next one.
Yeah,
And what else I was supposed to do?
you supposed to introduce yourself. All the people who
Oh,
don't know you.
thanks for having me back. It's your girl Rhonda. Like I said, I'm sipping on my water. We work a full time over here.
Trying to catch up.
So
Trying to catch up.
so y'all gonna get what you get. But it's gonna be good.
Man, look, I had to, like, man, Rhonda just got off. Her client just walked on the podcast screen, told me she was an expert on situationships and relationships. Shout out to Wilson, North Carolina. She said
Wide awake.
she's from Wide Awake. I said, and if you from Northeast North Carolina, you know, if somebody say they from Wide Awake, once she said that, it shut me down. You don't mess with them people. You don't mess with
Absolutely.
them people from Wilson. So
She
yeah,
gonna rock
maybe
with
one
us.
day
She
we're
gonna
gonna
rock
have
with us the next
she
time we
gonna rock with
come.
us
She gonna
tonight.
rock with us.
She
Yeah.
said, yes, Lord. So we're a little late tonight, but we're gonna jump right into this thing. Situationships versus relationships. Now, a lot of y'all might be saying, Jeff, that's old news. But realistically, it's not old news because ever since Rhonda and I did the podcast a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago now, what can you learn from celebrity breakups? And I remember we did that with Rhonda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we were dealing with the Judge Mathis thing, Tom
Mm-hmm.
Brady. Right now, you look up and Tom Brady and Giselle. Giselle just announced that she's pregnant by the jiu-jitsu instructor. And Tom Brady was completely caught off guard. Knew they liked each other, but didn't know it was that serious. And, you
It's
know,
always that serious.
well, you might be on something. And then you have we of course got the Ocho. We got the Ocho and Sherelle relationship thing, right? And then last week we talked to y'all about should the woman allow a side piece, and we kind of talked about the Cam Newton situation with his girlfriend Jasmine. And so one of the things that I said, I'm like, are we talking about relationships or situationships? Because when you hear situationship, first thing you think about is Jada Pinkett when she described what was going on with her and August Alsina, and that, in trying to describe what she and Will had going on. And before I forget, Rhonda, yeah, guys, look, I'm back to smoking my bundle again. So
Yeah, I was about to say, what you smoking and drinking? Mm-hmm.
I got my Elijah Craig. Small batch. That's what I'm sipping on tonight. I apologize to the audience, man. Like I said, either you're smoking a cigar or you're talking about what cigar smokers talk about. So I said, man, ever since the Jada Pinkett thing, that situationship word kind of phased out. Then I started looking at some of the stuff we discussing. And, full disclosure, guys, I got this article I'm going to go to. We need to break down some objective ways to look up situationships versus relationships and then kind of decide how to get to that next level of commitment. Because a lot of people might think they're in a relationship, but in essence, you didn't just put a suit on a situationship. You didn't put makeup on a situationship. And that's why I kind of wanted to do this, because y'all got to understand, man, I get these things sent to me and these things pop up in my feed. So I said we got to discuss it. Rhonda, when you got the topic, what did you think, though?
That they're one and the same.
Okay.
I think most people think they're in relationships, but they're in situationships.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but then I think people can progress, of course, to relationship status. But I think all of us, like all of us, could probably get picked on about an ex in some capacity, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
ex could always become a situationship into your relationship that you're currently in. So
Oh.
I think situationships are just there, man. They ain't going nowhere because you, yeah,
Are you calling situationships the side relationship?
absolutely.
Okay, so you're gonna go back to the Jada Pinkett description of it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because oh, no doubt it's a relationship, right? That person know all your business. They know when you with the main one. The main one don't know when you with the other one, with the situationship. You know what I'm saying? So
Like you said, the
I just think
situationship know where you are at all times.
a situationship know where you are at all the time. Because you don't know when we're gonna have to get it in. You don't know when we, yes. Situationship know where
They
you
said
at
they on
all the
call.
time.
They said they
And
on
I'm hungry.
call.
And yes, they stay on
Got
call.
you.
They
Mm-hmm.
stay on call.
Yes.
So yes, I think most people are in situationships, and I think some people label things. You know, yeah, we done had babies, we done got married, we done made it official. But you let
Yes.
old girl or old boy reach out, WYD.
Well, that WYD tech, that'll get you a time.
Or
But,
you ain't
but
answer
guys,
my text. What's wrong with you?
it's so funny Rhonda saying this because I think as I was studying for this, what I realized is some of y'all don't realize that the formal relationship is a situationship. And the thing you got outside that is what the real relationship is. Because we're gonna go over these things based on this article. And y'all know me, man. I get my articles. It popped up last week. It popped up last week when I was doing my research for the side piece podcast. And man, look, we gonna go over here. Ron, I'm gonna go ahead and share this thing so we gonna jump right into this thing, not trying to prolong it any longer than we have to. Let me know if you can see that one, Ron.
I can.
Okay, we over here at marriage.com, guys. I love this website. And
I see.
if y'all ever reading this site and come up with an article y'all want us to discuss, right? Whether it be, y'all see it, getting married, married life, parenting and family, counseling and help. You know, me and Rhonda are
Peter.
entertainment purposes only, so we ain't doing counseling and help. We
No.
just we just entertainment purposes.
We follow the stars. We follow the.
So situationship versus relationship, and is a shift possible and how? And guys, I ain't never seen an article that laid it out like this, man. One of the things Rhonda always says is what we do on the podcast just kind of opens up some things to kind of look at it differently. And I think this article enlightened me because I think a lot of people have not even been in a relationship. They've just been in a situationship. Then they go get married, get engaged, hoping that's gonna take it to the relationship level, man. And this article really got me. We're gonna jump right into this by Colin Winslow, and this was updated November 8th, 2024. Okay. Finding your way through the world of love can feel a bit like wandering through a maze, right? Sometimes we find ourselves stuck in a situationship versus a relationship, unsure which path to take. Does it feel like you're caught between the excitement of new feelings and the fear of commitment? It's as if you're dancing on the edge of something wonderful yet confusing. Wonderful if there's a way to turn this casual vibe into something deeper, right? I want to stop right there, guys, because if y'all go back, there's a lot of people trying to force that. A lot of people asking themselves, can we take this to the next level? Okay. And I think, Ronnie, this is when I saw that line in the introduction, it says, wondering if there's a way to turn this casual vibe into something deeper. Well, guess what, guys? That is the most scariest step you're going to take because
Mm-hmm.
y'all get along as long as it's casual, but you turn it into something deeper and now y'all can't stand each other. What do you think about their paragraph, Ron?
Well, because it changes things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I feel the way I do about marriage. Like when you're dating, it's nice and fun, light, airy, unless you just start off toxic, which that's true for a lot of people as well. But
Mm-hmm.
it's something about you shifting something to being more serious, or you sign on the dotted line or the straight line. I don't even know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Making it official, things do change. It's almost like you got ownership over somebody or something. Like, they got
Mm-hmm.
to know your whereabouts and all of that. And so I think taking it to a deeper level messes things up actually for a lot of relationships. But yeah, that is the fork in the
And
road. That right
let's be
there.
honest, guys. Everything starts off as a situationship. Everything starts off as a situationship. That's how it starts. And then you got to ask yourself, like Ronnie said, we from the country, right? So you get that fork in the road, right? You're going to get that fork in the road. You got to decide if you're going to go left or right, but you can't go straight. And some of us have gone to the formal, and some of us have kept the informal. So this article goes on to say, guys, and all this will be listed in the description for my Spotify and Amazon Music listeners. Can I spark it night into a flame, or are you just enjoying the warmth of what is? The heart has a funny way of leading us down unexpected roads. It can feel thrilling, yet also daunting. Emotions swirl, and clarity can seem to be out of reach. Yet, amidst the uncertainty, there's hope. What if change is not just possible, but right around the corner? Let's get into this thing, guys. What is a situationship? A situationship is that curious space between friendship and a full blown relationship. It's often filled with mixed signals and unspoken feelings. Rhonda, look, tell me what you think about that bowl before I keep reading.
I think that's a great definition of that. I
Hell
don't
of
have
a
no
definition.
problems. Huh?
Hell of a
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah, I don't have no problems with that. It's like I was talking to one of my friends the other week, and she was like, Rhonda, at our ages, we know after 2 weeks if we about to be with somebody
Hmm?
or not. Like it ain't no, we as you get older, we won't have a lot of time to waste.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, your situationship may be quick, whereas with other people, it may be a little bit long. But I think this is the perfect definition of that. Because
And
who
y'all know
who
that's
gonna
what
make
we've
the
been.
first step? And if you're more traditional, you're gonna make it for the man. But if you're not,
Yeah.
the girl gonna be like, "Hey, what's up? Let's do it. Let's get it," as the people say.
But guess what? But Brian, I'm glad you're saying all this because guys, when I read this article, the first thing I said is the situationship may be the happy place. Because what you got is filled with mixed signals and unspoken feelings. Well, what are you comparing it to? You comparing it to your tradition. But y'all are curious, which means that damn, man, it ain't nothing formalized, but it's exciting. Right? It ain't no boredom in
Hmm.
this, guys. There ain't no boredom in this. Have you ever found yourself hanging out with someone, enjoying each other's company, but unsure where you both stand? It can feel exciting and confusing at the same time. While there's no official title, the connection might be strong, leaving you wondering, is a situationship a relationship? People in these situations often experience emotional closeness without the commitment that typically defines a relationship. It is a place where boundaries can be blurry, feelings can run deep, yet clarity often remains elusive. It's about exposing those gray areas. So let's get to it. And I ain't gonna go, 5 signs you're in a situationship, guys. Let's go to number one. A lack of labels. A lack of labels, Rhonda. I ain't gonna
Hmm.
read it, but when you see lack of labels, look at what it said. Boyfriend or girlfriend never comes up. What do you think about a lack of labels, Rhonda? Is that a bad thing?
No, not if it's a situationship. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
it's like some situationships you may not have a label, but you know what it is.
Right? This is the whole point, guys. Remember, boyfriend and girlfriend are traditional words. So your situationship, you don't define yourself traditionally.
Yeah, we just smashing.
Or say that. You see, stay out those streets, dog. Stay out those streets.
Just
Right?
saying.
So what's happening, guys? Getting away from those traditional titles, and all of a sudden, okay, now you're in a situationship, and some of y'all got to understand that you thrive without labels. I'll give you an example, guys. Most people, like I went to college. Rhonda went to college. College people want to put everything like it's a book you're studying in the library, right? And then what happens is they can't flow outside of structure, right? So this is 5 signs that you're in a situationship, and the first thing you're gonna have is a lack of labels. And the more formal education you have, the more you're gonna struggle with the lack of label. Because people with education want to talk about their certification and letters behind their name. They live in a world of labels. What do you think about when you hear me say that, Ron?
Well, titles are important to people that are highly educated in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of ways. You get those credentials so that you could show people that you have them. It validates you into your professional career. So I could see
Mm-hmm.
why this would be a challenge. And that's
Yeah,
why if they are in a situationship, it's with somebody that they've known for a long time. It ain't gonna
absolutely.
be with somebody new.
It ain't gonna be with somebody new, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna be with somebody new. Let's go to number two, guys. Mixed signals. How do you know you're in a situationship? Are you getting hot and cold vibes? Right? 1 minute everything seems perfect, lots of text messages, sweet moments. Then suddenly, so guys, you're gonna do this up and down. Suddenly there's distance and silence, right? But that's the whole perspective, guys. And guys, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. This don't sound much different than a real relationship yet. Because I'm just telling you, this happens in real relationships too. Okay? What do you think about mixed signals, Ryan? Hot and cold vibes.
I mean, yeah, because again, the relationship don't know you, the situationship.
Mm-hmm.
So they may not be able to respond at your beck and call and ready to
You,
go at a
you,
moment's hat. Something stuff could change. The kid got sick. Hey man, I can't.
Rhonda just preached, guys. What if y'all calling your relationship a situationship? What if one of y'all calling it a relationship, but the other one is calling it a situationship?
Mm-hmm.
That you just preach. We gonna get into that. Number three, limited future talk. Future plans are rarely discussed, right? What are the things y'all go back and listen to all my podcasts I've done on relationships? I said, ask the woman, what's the 1 year, or ask the woman, ask the man, what's the 1 year, 5 year, 10 year plan? If y'all can't answer that or you don't want to have that conversation, you accept in a situationship. What do you think about limited future talk, Rob?
I was thinking about it from another situation. Like we can't even talk about next week. We
Guys,
how we
if y'all ain't got no, if y'all don't know what y'all gonna be doing next week,
no
right?
meaning the relationship knows what the future talk is, but a
Yeah.
situationship wouldn't know because we only get our stolen moments. What Luther say?
Oh,
Secret love. Why
a
can't we tell
few.
somebody?
Oh, what Whitney
Yeah.
say? A few stolen
Oh
moments
Lord.
is
Yes, that's it.
all that we share. I should play that, but if I go, I don't want to get copyrighted.
No, we don't want to get
Y'all
copyright.
see,
So
y'all
that's
see
how I
that right
looked at
now?
that part. We can't even talk
Okay.
about Friday. We can't even talk about Friday.
Oh, so now, guys, that's a different way to look at it because and that makes sense because in this article, look at what it says. It's not uncommon for situationships to feel very present focused, with little room for conversations about tomorrow or deeper commitment. Guys, look,
Mm-hmm.
let me take like the number one thing, guys. But here's the deal: go back to the first one, guys. That lack of labels and all this kind of stuff. You just so excited. This person has you so enamored, and y'all got to understand. The Bible talks about take no thought for tomorrow. That's why these situationships are so more. They're so much more entertaining and so much more
This is more
fun.
lustful. I think it's more lust
Yes,
involved in
yes,
situationships.
absolutely. Y'all just living in the moment. You're not even trying.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking about trying to cut this faucet off. You're not even. So you're not talking about the future. Y'all living in the moment. So number three, right? Number four, emotional closeness without commitment. Right? You got an emotional bond, but lack of the commitment is the hallmark of it. Have you shared your secrets and dreams, yet there's still no commitment? This thing says the kind of closeness can feel deeply fulfilling, but also confusing. Guys, what this is, when you're in a situationship, some of y'all better make sure you don't want to transition this thing to a relationship. The reason it's working is look at the excitement of it. Because when you get into that relationship, everything becomes mundane, everything becomes repetitive, everything becomes routine. Jump in there, Ryan. Let me know what you think about number four.
Well, it reminds me of another podcast where we talked about romance, and you looked at
Uh-huh.
definition up. Number four is about romance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like list them off somewhere. Because 9 times out of 10, you mean in somebody's hotel room. Um, you mean somewhere, like what I'm saying, like you meeting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's not somebody's house, is what I'm saying. Like either yours or theirs, and so you get all the things of like, man, this is working so well. We should be together. But if I got a husband and you got a wife or whatever, we can't do that. So we can't have no commitment. You just better not
Yeah.
be sleeping with nobody else outside of me.
Yeah. And so that's what happens, guys. Emotional closeness without commitment. Y'all clicking with this person. You clicking with this person. And the only time y'all fight is when y'all talk about commitment, because commitment is tied into formalities and tradition.
And they're
And
committed to
tradition
somebody else.
expectation. And they may be committed to somebody else, or they may not be committed to somebody else. Rhonda, they came out of a bad relationship. They may be divorced. There's a lot of things that can happen where people don't
Mm-hmm.
want to go down that road again, right? So
Yeah.
number five, Y'all don't talk about serious topics, right? Right? It's a strong sign of a situationship if you don't talk about serious topics. Now, if all of y'all in a situationship, I don't think this is a bad thing, right? Because honestly, those serious topics take a toll on relationships. The serious topics take a toll on relationships. If you're in a situationship, what's making it work is y'all haven't put that burden on you as a couple yet. Y'all ain't dealing with that. So the people may decide to take care of that individually versus making it a part of their relationship. Okay. So what it says is this avoidance can create an emotional barrier, preventing both people from truly understanding their connection. Okay. It says it can be disheartening, especially when you crave that deeper understanding. Let me tell y'all this, man. Talking about serious topics gonna remove those other things that you got going well, because what makes the situationship entertaining and fun is that you ain't talking about serious topics. Now y'all done started a relationship talking about these serious topics. Now y'all don't want to be around each other no more. Tell me that, right? Let me know what you think.
Well, but that's the epitome of the definition, where it's
Mm-hmm.
awkward, curious, and all that kind of stuff. Because if we doing all the things under the sun, but then we got to avoid talking about the serious stuff, that does make it awkward. Because the closer you get, the tougher conversations probably going to be had. So that's why this fits that definition of a
Mm-hmm.
situationship. And
And
that's what I'm
what I'm
saying.
trying to,
People got to know exactly where they stand, even though there's no labels. Talk about an
and
oxymoron, and it's
well,
like,
no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think guys, look. I think number five is there for a reason. I think when you start talking about serious topics, the fun in the relationship is gone. And that's a choice that everybody got to make, because relationships are not fun. Situationships are, right? Relationships is this concept of, all right, this is what we got to do together. And now instead of that spontaneity and instead of that, you know, throw caution to the wind, everything is scripted. Everything is scripted. So once you start talking about serious topics, everything's gonna change in that relationship that y'all have. It goes from a situationship to relationship. Now, here we go, guys. What's the difference between a situationship and a relationship? All right. So for all my people out there listening, I'm gonna go through this real fast. But basically, have you ever wondered where a situationship stands compared to a committed relationship? Maybe it feels like you're dating, but something's just undefined. Or perhaps you find yourself wondering, situationship versus relationship, what's the real difference? While both involve emotional connection, they play out differently. Here's a quick look at how these two compare. Right now, this is a chart. I just want to go over real fast. Sorry. So the aspect of commitment, situationships often lack clear commitment. There are no set expectations or defined roles. In a relationship, mutual commitment where roles and expectations are openly discussed and agreed upon. Now, guys, I'm gonna go there now. In a situationship, we ain't talking about uh, who's the lead and who's submitted or who's this and who's that. Y'all just flowing. In a relationship, now those tough conversations are happening. What do you think about that, Ryder, when you hear how they breaking it down right there?
no, yeah, relationships have boundaries.
Hmm.
Situationships don't, except for the
Hmm.
ones we can't talk about.
Well, but see, Brown, I'm gonna tell you this though. The situationship is kind of like having a dog that you can let out and they don't have to be on a leash, right? Like I ain't going nowhere. We ain't got no clear boundaries, but all right, I know where you let a dog out, they'll come back in, and they don't have to be on a leash or have a fence. Now, some dogs go out and roam the whole neighborhood, come
Them the
back three
dogs
days
I
later.
know. Them the dogs I know.
There you go. There you go. You can't keep them on the chain no more, though. You got to get a fix. You got to get a
That
fix.
fence don't even work.
Number two, emotional investment. Emotional in a situationship, emotional closeness can exist, but depth may vary. One or both may feel hesitant about future plans, but in a relationship, they say the bond is stronger and shared. Both are generally open about feelings and the future. I disagree with that one,
I do, yeah,
because I
me
think
too.
I think once you get into a relationship, the emotion stuff kind of it fades. Versus the situationship, that excitement never stops.
Situationships let you dream, though. They let you
Yeah, I agree.
dream.
I
You
agree.
know, there
The
you could,
relation,
yeah. I feel like you could, you know, say what you
the
wouldn't
relationship,
mind
it is what
doing.
it is.
Well,
The
with a
relationship is
relationship,
what it is.
Negro, you ain't going nowhere. Sit your tail down.
Mm-hmm. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get up and eat. You're gonna get up and eat the same thing. You're gonna drink the same thing. All that kind of stuff. Everything becomes mundane, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It says communication. Conversations are light and casual, with serious topics avoided. But in a relationship, open, honest communication about personal and shared goals, serious topics are addressed openly. And that's where I disagree. Again, guys, I'm telling y'all I disagree with this because in a relationship, every the people that the other person you're with feel more comfortable with gonna know about it first before you know. That doesn't make it a bad thing. It's just a real thing, right? So if I call Rhonda and get Rhonda the skinny and say, "Hey, Rhonda, how you think I should say this? How you think I should talk about this?" Right? There's always gonna be somebody that knows before you know.
Yeah, like your work wife,
But
work husband, somebody else gonna know.
parents,
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda went straight to the work. I'm talking about parents, siblings.
Or those people too. Y'all ain't eight. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Right. She's been working all day, yeah. Here's a big one, guys. Future planning. Little or no talk about long-term plans. Focuses more on the present moment without discussing what's next. In a relationship, is future planning is common with discussions about shared goals, dreams, and what lies together. I'm gonna jump in here real fast, guys, because the problem in a relationship, even planning something can possibly turn into a fight. Situationship, because you're avoiding it, you don't have that issue. If you're in a situationship, if we want to go somewhere, it's easy. If you're in a relationship, you know how many hoops you got to jump through just to even talk about planning it.
See, I
Because I'm gonna
think in
tell
a
you like this.
situationship
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
can't. I think you got to be careful with a situationship because you got to go far out
hmm
of town if you got somebody else.
Well, look, I like how you're positioning that. But I would tell you guys that future planning, the first thing you hear about this is what are we going to do for retirement or the kids' college fund or, all this kind of stuff. Now, what Ron is talking about is those stolen moments again, which fits into this. Because you might say, well, look, I want to go somewhere for a whole week. Situationship, that might not be possible where it's planned. It may be, hey, look, what you doing? I'm getting tickets. We going. It ain't gonna be a whole lot of thought in getting there. It's gonna be like, hey, like Rhonda said, my other relationship out of town, you want to roll.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm thinking. That's why I was raising my hand because am I
mhm.
totally looking at it wrong? Because I'm like when I think about a situation, you can't be out like you not freely openly out because so one or both people
but
have somebody else.
but let's go there, Rhonda. Let's go there. Jada and August Alsina was out together. Like it wasn't no hidden thing, right? So if you're in a situation ship, I don't think it's a whole lot of hiding. I think it's a whole lot of sneaking, but I don't think it's a whole lot of hiding. Y'all
Hmm.
are out. Y'all just don't go to the same place that you in the, y'all don't go to some of the formal places that this person would go to.
Hmm.
And so I see when I hear future planning, I'm thinking about the boring stuff, right?
When
What's
I
the boring
hear it, I'm
stuff?
thinking what we doing. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about okay, you trying to get promoted at your job, you trying to have kids, you trying to do all this kind of stuff, right? That's what when I look at this article, but I completely get what you're saying, which is you're seeing the situationship like exactly what was Jada and August Alsina, which is why he went crazy. Because he could not have a future with her. Like he's like, I love you, I love you. She's like, nah, bro, this ain't like that with me. I ain't gonna break up with Will. So I get exactly where you're going with it. And like is that kind of how you're looking at it, which is, hey, the situationship is the sign. This relationship is real. That's how
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. And
I
I'm
mean,
over
and
here
I get it
thinking,
because people could have situationships, and just that's just what it is.
hmm
Yeah, they don't
and guess
necessarily
what,
have to
guys?
have anybody. I
And
just
guess
don't
what
know too
though?
many like that.
Y'all got to understand how much it costs to be in a relationship versus a situationship. Right over here, you talking about 401ks and all this kind of stuff in a relationship. But in the future planning, we ain't even got enough money to talk about that. I mean, for the situationship, and we can't be together type thing. So that's just one of the things I see with it. But I get exactly where you're coming from, Rhonda, which is Rhonda breaking this thing down between, okay, I'm sneaking in this one and I'm public with this one.
Yeah.
So right. So when you talk about future planning, it's possible that one of y'all ain't gonna have no conversation about future planning. Okay. Boundaries and labels. Boundaries are often unclear, leading to some uncertainty about the connection. Clear boundaries and labels in a relationship are established, providing security and clarity in the relationship. Now, the reason why I want to break this chart down is because, right, there ain't no uncertainty about the connection in a situationship. Y'all, we can go back to August Alsina and Jada Pinkett and all this kind of. There wasn't no uncertainty. They were connected. They were connected. He went crazy. She didn't. Right now, over here on the actual relationship side, this is more your formal stuff, but it doesn't provide security. Like Rhonda said, if breaking it down the way Rhonda said, there ain't no security in that. You don't know what's going on. But the situationship person know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
You see, Rhonda, did you see Good Morning America the other day? Dude that was married, 3 kids, wife,
Hmm. Hmm.
teenagers, went out, faked his death. He's
Yeah.
overseas now with his side piece.
Oh.
And the cops got up there and told him to come home. But they only wanted to come home so he can pay for the search and answer to why he left and why he took out a life insurance policy and all this. But I'm
Hmm.
like, why does he have to pay? Why should he come home to pay for the search? He didn't call. She called.
Look, she wanted her husband.
You know? No, she didn't want her. Look, I'm pretty sure that man told her, I ain't happy. I don't want to be here no more.
Oh
You
my
don't just
Lord.
wake up and do that, Ron. You don't just wake up and do that. Especially with 3 kids. But y'all Google that story. Y'all Google that story. It's on Good
Yeah, I had
Morning
not.
America the other
Yeah, I
day.
had not heard that. Hmm.
And left with he over in a different country that won't extradite him back with his side piece. Now, guys, he didn't got with his situationship, and it's a lot less restricted. It's a lot more freeing than his relationship. Y'all got to make sure you're not putting so much pressure on these relationships that people crave a situationship, right?
Hmm.
Right? That's why you talk about. That's why you talk about. When you were saying Luther Vandross, and I was singing Whitney.
Yeah.
Guys, the songs are reading in the same premise. Why am I trying to escape? Rhonda said all the dogs she know ain't gonna just go out there, use the bathroom, come back in. Rhonda said the dogs she know gonna take off.
Oh Lord.
Now, let's jump into 7 ways, guys. We get ready to close this thing out. 7 ways okay? 7 ways. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna give y'all no vertigo. 7 ways to turn your situationship into a relationship. Now, y'all got to understand. If you turn your situationship into a relationship, just know the breakup may be coming. Because what I see out of this is now you're going to start putting burdens on each of you. And now that relationship may not be fun. Some of y'all may want to stay in a situationship, but here go these 7 things, Ronnie. We're going to go through these real fast. Number
Okay.
1, communicate openly about your feelings. Number 2, spend quality time together. But what some of y'all going to find is spending quality time together ain't as fun as them stolen moments, right? See, look at what this thing says. Try to go beyond casual hangouts, plan real dates that allow for connection and intimacy.
Ain't nobody
Look,
got
guys,
time.
look, Brad, what you want from McDonald's, right? That relationship gonna be what do you want from McDonald's, right? So,
The
so
situationship gonna have your Chipotle ready. I bought you
yeah,
Chipotle.
I got you some protein. I got you some protein. Shout out to Chipotle, man. If y'all want to sponsor the podcast, Ronnie just gave y'all sweet plug. Number 3, set boundaries and expectations, right? You putting your fences up. Right, the moment you put boundaries on some people ain't meant. Look, guys, some people ain't meant to be in a cage. Why, guys? All the eggs you buy right now, all the grocery stores had to start using free range chickens for their eggs. Right now, when we grew up, the chickens were in a coop. Now, the first thing people tell you, we give you free range eggs. Them chickens
Yeah.
allowed to roam. Ain't no
Yeah.
boundaries. Ain't no boundaries, guys. Right. So when you go into a relationship, though, relationship mean boundaries. Relationship mean expectation. You ain't living in the moment no more. You're comparing yourself to certain expectations from tradition and what society says you should do. What you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. It's just no fun, right? That's why
Mhm.
whoever you're in a relationship with, it determines how healthy you are or the lack thereof. All of that
That's
stuff
true.
matters.
That's true. Number four, show your genuine interest in their life. Again, guys, look at all the stuff you got to do to change it from a situationship to a relationship. Now you got to show genuine interest in their life, right? In the situationship, you don't give a damn about their life. All y'all care about is the time y'all spend together. That's why it's fun. I don't care about all that other stuff you got going on. You don't care about all the other stuff I got going on. We're escaping because of that. Okay? Right? But what is this word genuine? Look at that. Ask about their goals, their dreams, or even their worries. Y'all ain't been dealing with that in the situationship. And guess what, Rhonda? What if I ain't equipped to fix all that? What if I
Hmm.
can't help you with your goals, your dreams, or your worries? What do you think, Rhonda, when you hear people ask about these things?
I mean, the people are honest. Most people don't start off having the capacity for their mates stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They had to grow into that. But
I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. If you gonna do this, if you gonna ask about somebody's goals, dreams, and worries, and you ain't equipped to address them, then you gonna start feeling insufficient. You gonna start feeling insufficient, and that thing gonna hurt. That thing is gonna hurt because then you're gonna be like, "Oh, I ain't know it's like that with you. I can't be the person you need me to be." Here's the deal: be patient and consistent. This basically means be boring. Be boring. If you going from a situationship to a relationship, that means I'm done with being in the game. I'm coming over here and I'm gonna be patient and I'm gonna be consistent. You know what that means, guys? Boring. Boring. And when you get into a relationship, that's what a relationship is. A boring concept that has certain situations where they're exciting. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Rhonda, I'm not saying it in a bad way. Because I know I'm a
mhm,
boring guy. I know I'm a boring guy, but because that's what the nature of my business is. You gotta be a boring guy. You gotta be a guy that's gonna wake up and do the same thing every day because everything is dependent upon you being consistent.
mhm.
Consistent mean boring, right? When we were in Savannah and that shuttle coming over, right? The ferry coming over, it's the same route every day. It's the same route
But
every
that's
day,
why it
Ron.
works. But that's why it
That's
works.
why it works. Ain't nobody after the first time you get on it, you're like, damn, we gotta wait on the shuttle.
And we
At
got to
first
stop
it's
at the
like
other hotel first. Dang. But yeah,
we had the wrong hotel, dog. We had the wrong hotel. Why didn't Jeff book earlier?
no, it was yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Sorry,
but yeah, no, it
guys.
was a nice hotel. It was a
I'm
nice
having some
hotel.
PTSD. Um, Number six, create memories and shared experiences. Well, guys, here's the hard part. You already doing that now. You're already doing that now without all the extra responsibilities of a relationship. Like that's right. That situationship. I guarantee you, if you sat down and talked to August Alsina, he gonna tell you about every memory and shared experience that they had. But for Jada, it was just like, nah, bruh, ain't like that. Like it was
Oh,
cool, but
she
it ain't like
totally
the.
changed his life. She totally changed his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think about creating memories and shared experience? Right. Look at what they say, guys. Go beyond routines or casual dates. Do things that are memorable now.
But you
Guess
can't
what,
be
guys? When you
consistent. It's gonna be one or the other.
be consistent,
We're gonna be
absolutely.
spontaneous or we're gonna be consistent. Which one?
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah.
relationships are confusing. And what the devil say? He
Relationship.
came to kill, steal, and destroy.
It's true. That's it. And once you get into a relationship, guys, now it's going to be attacked. And it's going to be attacked by the people closest to you. Your situationship, the only people who really know about it is you and maybe your best friend. It ain't a whole lot of people who know about your situationship. So now y'all ain't even got no problems. But the moment you shift over here to a relationship, now that informal relationship turns formal and now you get attacked. Right? And here's the deal, guys. Number 7, it says, don't be afraid to ask where things are heading. Don't be afraid to ask where things are heading. Guys, let me tell you this. Where do you see this going? Look at what she said, though. When the timing feels right. Well, guess what, guys? Why am I worried about where it's going? The moment you let tradition kick in, you ruin the situationship, and it ain't no guarantee you going to a relationship. The other person may say, yeah, I'm good. I just kind of like the way we vibe, right? At the end
But
of
your
the day,
friends and
guys,
family, though, your friends and family, they find out you dating somebody.
absolutely.
Oh, when we gonna meet 'em? What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna get married? Y'all,
I
you
heard
get
y'all get met.
all the
Yep.
crap, all the things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what, guys, if you want to go to this relationship now, the only reason you go into a relationship, Ronnie just said it. Now you trying to impress People closest to you starting to ask questions about
And
y'all.
you on your deathbed.
I I ain't gonna take it that far, but if you're on your deathbed, then you got to ask some questions about where y'all. You
Just
know.
play. Just
But guys, when you ask where things are headed, don't be surprised if the person says, "Well, really nowhere. I'm not feeling that right now. I kind of like what we got going on." That's not a bad answer.
it
Y'all are
is if
getting
that
what
other
relation,
person want more. It is if that other person want more.
but that other person wants more. Gonna have to determine that. Look, if I give you what you're wanting traditionally, we gonna end because it's not gonna last. The reason some people are getting along is because they're doing things untraditionally, if that's a word.
Non-traditionally.
Non-traditionally.
Yes, no.
Non-traditionally.
You done made it one
So
tonight.
when I see don't be afraid to ask where things are headed. No, don't ask a question you don't know the answer to, or you don't want the wrong answer back. Because you're gonna ask me thinking I'm gonna say what you want me to say. And maybe we interpreting these stolen moments or these unofficial events where don't nobody know. Y'all gotta understand it's so much easier to be in a situationship because we don't have the pressure of a relationship. So how do
Yeah.
you get to the next level is you got to be willing to give up this fun and excitement to get to a routine. And a lot of people, you got to understand, you can't have both. You can't have both. What do you think about
Are
random
you
people asking
saying you
about where things are?
can or you can't?
No, you can't. You can't have both.
Oh,
Once we
okay.
change this from a situationship to a relationship, the fun that was happening in the situationship gone. It's gone. Because now it becomes this consistent, routine, boring thing with few things of excitement. Versus in a situationship, the majority of things are exciting, but there's no formalities.
Mm.
No, yes.
No, yeah, no. You're right.
And Ron, I think people get into a situationship, try to turn it into a relationship, then they wake up and say, "What happened to us?" Well, we formalized it, right? We
No,
formalized it.
it formalizing makes stuff really, really. But then you're shunned upon if it's not formalized. What are you
If
doing?
you're not, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what you guys gotta look at this, guys, what this is. To sum it up, turning a situationship into a relationship is a journey. One that requires honesty, patience, and willingness to open up. Talking about it's about taking small steps, building trust, and letting the connection grow naturally. If both of y'all are on the same page and willing to put in the effort, that shift from situationship to a relationship can feel almost effortless. But here's the problem, guys. It may feel effortless, but be ready to deal with all the things you didn't deal with first. Because most situationships are in private, relationships are in public, right? And I think one of the things you guys got to look at, one of the things you guys got to look at is the reason I wanted to have this discussion. The reason I wanted to have this discussion right now is because, man, I'm reading this thing and I'm like, the people in situationships don't think because some is good, more is better. See what I'm saying? Some people say, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, look, man, look, dude, well, if I like 2 ounces of alcohol, give me 4 ounces." No, bruh. No, keep that thing completely balanced over here because if I overindulge, now I got a problem. And some of y'all trying to go from informal to formal, but we ain't been trained formal, right? There's some people who want to be a doctor, but you can't be a doctor until you've been trained formally.
Yeah, you
You
got to
can't
be
be a
trained.
lawyer until you've been trained for, right? But guess what? Ask the doctors and the lawyers how boring their lives are. When you go to that formal relationship from a situationship, everything changes. What's your thought on that article, Ron? Good,
No, I
bad,
thought it.
indifferent?
I know. I thought it was a decent article. I know I was looking at it a little bit unorthodox because I was thinking it was two different situations. Um, but now I get what you're saying. Like you're taking the same two people who were in a situationship, elevating it to a relationship. So,
Relationship, yeah.
yeah, and so, but I just feel like because situationship starts off with no commitment, even though there's a bunch of commitments, because wherever you can see me, that's where I'm gonna be. Um, then you turn it into something that's actually expected of you. So I think you go from no expectations to expectations
But
when
you
you're
meant you,
going from.
but you actually spoke about it correctly, right? I don't have an issue with how you interpret it because you brought up the work wife and work husband. That's a situationship.
Yeah.
They don't have no formal. They don't have no formal stuff. But what happens when the real wife or real husband find out about the work wife and work husband?
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden, if it start getting out and people start seeing y'all doing stuff that y'all shouldn't be doing compared to what tradition says, now all of a sudden what happens? Somebody get fired. Somebody getting a divorce,
Yeah.
right?
Or you got
This
to
is what a lot
report.
of people.
You got to
Oh,
report
you
your
got to report it.
interactive
HR.
inner office
Yes.
relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what. So I don't have a problem with how you were looking at it because I think it works multiple ways. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I was bringing up Chad and Sherelle and Jada and Alcina, August Alcina, um, some of these celebrity relationships, they may be celebrity situationships. Cam and Jade and Jasmine, they may be situationships. And I think it was the toughest thing for me to accept that you giving credit for people being in relationships, asking questions like they're in a relationship, holding them to a standard of a relationship. But all the while they've been telling you, no, this is just a situationship, right? And that was the hardest part
Or their expectations are different from what we would want. Different
because they
expectations.
don't have the same they don't have the same. Your expectations are tied to your tradition. Your expectations are tied to your tradition. And one of the things that happen, man, it's easy to sit back here and start saying, well, I'm comparing their relationship to what my standard is. Well, relationships are subjective, they're not objective. So these people may have a different set of guidelines. Chad Ochocinco said, I'm getting married to somebody in February. Can't get the deposits back. So he said, I got to walk down the aisle with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that what you guys are finding is we may need to redefine these traditions and these formalities because I believe, Ron, the more people are choosing situationships than choosing relationships.
But yeah. People, I just don't think people have that much time.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're gonna be all in with the relationship and be unhappy, or you're gonna be in a situationship where you can just go and come as you please and leave something when you want to.
And let's be honest, guys, the divorce rate is up. Marriage rates are down. People ain't having kids. We ain't even talked about the kids involved in that thing, right? You got
F
a
them
whole
kids.
different ball game. Yes. Yes.
Ain't nobody here.
Everybody said you too, man. But no, but again, I think that's what's happening, guys. Like we better start recognizing that people are shunning tradition. People want simplicity. People ain't taking on this extra responsibility, these extra weights of relationships. So, Rhonda, what's your takeaway tonight as we get ready to get out of here?
Good. You got to do what's best for you. Ain't gonna go with my normal little spin on stuff. You got to do what works best for you. But it sounds like um, neither. I guess if you want it to serve a purpose, it will. Like whatever you believe something is, that's what it's gonna be. However you think,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's gonna be. But again, don't get married.
Right? Can't be the yeah. I think guys, it's the same takeaway every time. I had to change it. I had to change up the subject. But
It's
I mean, I think
relationships.
you,
Yeah, that's
I
relationships.
think you.
Don't do
What I would, what I would tell you guys is this, man. Some of us are built. Some of us are built better for situationships than we are for relationships. And if you're good at situationships, stay in that lane. If you're good at relationships, take it to the next level. But just know that relationship takes away the fun from situationship. Don't expect to have situationship mentality in a relationship. The whole dynamic changes. And I think what a lot of people try to do is they say, "Oh, we were dating, or we were creeping, or whatever. Let's formalize it. It'll get better. We ain't got to hide it no more." Well, all of your personalities were based, the reason it was connecting was because you didn't have that pressure. And so when we talk about what's the next way to get to that level of commitment, you got to ask yourself, am I ready to be bored? Now, a lot of y'all gonna get down in the comments and say, everybody ain't bored. Well, now talk to the person when they ain't around you. And they gonna tell you that a formal relationship is a boring relationship. It's a mundane, it's a routine relationship. But when they talk about who they used to date back in the day, watch the excitement come on their face.
it. Absolutely.
We won't even talking about future plans. It was like, man, let's just see what this thing gonna do. Right? When you went to the club, Rhonda, you ain't trying to go to the club looking for no husband, looking for no wife, right? We go to the club. The club, you just like, man, we just go enjoy this. But
Yeah.
that's what a situationship is. We gonna wake up every day and enjoy the day. We're not gonna put the burdens of life on the relationship, because once it becomes a relationship, now you get the burdens of life. So my true takeaway on this is enjoy your situationship if you in one. Don't formalize it. Because the reason y'all getting along is you've avoided the formalization of the relationship. I don't want to see y'all break up. Because then you're gonna go to the next relationship comparing him or her to that situationship, trying to turn it into a relationship. And it ain't gonna work, man. So y'all know what it is. It's Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the real cigar Jeff. Y'all get down in the comment section. Let us know what you think, man. Jeff and Ronda crazy, or they own to something. If you hadn't already, mash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that bell for notification. Get down in the description section, man. Get the merch, support the channel, right? I gotta thank my resident relationship expert again. Rhonda, remind them where they can find you on the socials.
On IG at RMBLMBT.
Man, and until next time, we gonna holler.
Heartbeat, smoke it, drink it down. With your voice, it got Jeff around. Feel the vibe, we're set to roll. Press play, let's lose control. Sip a drink and smoke will swirl. Join the convo around the world. Relationships we dissect slow.